I used to believe so much in the saying, actions speak louder than words. I internalized this saying so much that people's words didn't matter much to me anymore. I believe that people's actions were a true reflection of their intentions and thought patterns. These days, I'm starting to believe that actions probably don't speak louder than words. Or better put, I don't believe it as much as I used to, and here is why. Recently, I cast my mind back to some of the hurtful experiences I've had. I remember the time when someone refused to pay back a huge sum of money I lent her. In her defense, she thought it was a gift and my way of supporting her through whatever she was going through. I also remember a time when I went over and beyond for a particular person I thought I was dating, but it turned out that the way he was treating me was the way he treated every other female friend. I also remember a particular instance when I had a problem with one of my superiors. The reason was that I had gone to take permission from her that I'll be absent from work on a particular day. Well, she just shrugged her shoulders after I told her, so that meant like, okay. And on top of that, I noticed she was beginning to exempt me from tasks that were due on that particular day or that were meant to be done on that day. So in my defense, she's accepted I was going to be absent and she's approved of it, so I was good to go. I went ahead, I was absent on that day, and by the time I came back, hell let loose. She went on and on about who asked me to leave, did she give her permission, did she explicitly tell me that I was permitted? I was shocked. I was really shocked. I'll be honest. I was really shocked. Thinking about these things just made me realize how much people's actions could be misleading. It dawned on me that some of the awful experiences I've had was because I based my actions and expectations of people on perceived sentiments and imaginary premises. Over the years, I've had lots of unpleasant experiences that have convinced me on the negative impact of making inferences solely based on people's actions. I've also understood the huge role effective communication plays in our dealings with people. I've realized that our interpretation of people's actions could easily be influenced by our emotions, our unconscious bias, and even our expectations of them. And while I understand that it's easy to also misinterpret someone's words, I found out it's easier to hold people accountable by what they say rather than their behaviors, which could be subject to different interpretations. On that note, here are some things you should never assume. Number 1, don't assume you understood someone's instructions, and don't also assume the person understood yours. This is particularly important in work-related environments, but is also applicable in pretty much any environment where you need to receive and give instructions. I came across a clip where a guy was asked to submit a job EOD, but he thought it was end of December, while the person actually communicating meant end of the day. I feel like this would have been easier for the guy if he asked the meaning of EOD when he was receiving the instruction. I've fallen into similar traps on different occasions, which is why I would always advise, ask for clarification, ask for feedback, and even in situations where it looks like this is similar to the instruction you've received before, still ask for clarifications, because sometimes the circumstance could change. There might be other hidden factors that will make the instruction slightly different from what you did the last time. Personally, I formed the habit of always reiterating an instruction that has been given to me. Apart from the fact that it helps me to communicate how well I understood the instruction, it also helps me to consolidate the important aspects of that task. So doing this is really simple. When you're given a task, you just ask. You ask me to do XYZ. Do you mean XYZ? If I do it ABC, does it still mean XYZ? Doing this will help to fill in the gaps on aspects you don't clearly understand. Don't be afraid of sounding stupid when you ask such questions, because most times the consequence of getting that thing wrong is at a higher cost than sounding stupid. The second thing you should never assume is being in a relationship with someone. Don't ever assume you're in a committed relationship with someone. I cannot overemphasize this, because this has put many people in situations where they feel terribly hurt and they now have to start healing from the disappointments and all the hurt that comes from those kind of relationships. It's unfortunate that some people have made it a habit to be misleading in their actions, because tell me why somebody, let's say a guy, will be nice, be going overly and beyond for everyone they consider a female friend, and in your mind you think you're being nice, and it's those people that are overthinking issues. In my opinion, you're not being nice. You don't just have personal boundaries, because it just shows you don't have a standard for what you do for certain people, and it's rather disappointing. But that's a story for another day. For now, what I'm trying to say is make sure you're on the same page with anyone, regardless of how much they call you, how much they show you you signs, they give you cues, they make pleasant remarks. You're not dating until you're dating. It's dangerous to have an assumption of a serious relationship when all you can see are questionable actions and behaviors. I understand that discussions around defining a relationship could be tricky and a bit uncomfortable, but have it in your mind that until you define that relationship, it is clearly undefined. In my last video, some people requested that I make a video around how to have discussions about situationships and friendships that no longer serve you, and I'm really going to do that because it's a concern, a major concern. Another thing you should never assume is that your offenders know their offense. It's unreasonable to assume that keeping malice, giving people the silent treatment will automatically make them realize they hurt you and have a change of behavior. No matter how angry you are, your anger only serves as a source of self-inflicted pain unless it is communicated to your offender. If you feel hurt by someone, find a way to communicate it to them. Sometimes they had a different intention, but it came out wrongly, and a simple conversation would have sorted things out. I particularly stand by this quote: before you hold a grudge, hold a conversation. It has helped me a lot of times. Number 4, don't assume people know your challenges. Sometimes we think people should be thoughtful enough to notice that we're not in a good mood and that we need help and that we're probably going through a tough time. But the truth is, you can't be angry at people you've not opened up to. If you need help, open up to those who you think could help you. People you're angry at for not noticing that you need help might also be going through their own personal challenges. So if you don't open up to them, they don't know what you're going through. They don't know how to help you. And when you're opening up to people, try not to be vague and eventually come out to say they didn't help you in the capacity to which you expected. Because I've seen that play out a lot of times when someone opens up to someone that they need help and the person offers the little help they think the person needs, but then they don't feel satisfied because they feel this person has the ability to help me more than they did. But when you look at it critically, you realize that the help they rendered you is based on how much you opened up to them. So if you feel like this person could help you in a larger capacity, open up to them to that extent. And if they don't have, they can clearly communicate to you also that at this point I'm not able to help in this capacity, and it's clear to both of you. You don't leave a lot of assumptions hanging in the air like this person could have helped me but they just chose not to. But in that instance, you're very clear. It's clear to you that this person knows that he or she could help me in this capacity, but he was just unable to at that moment. If you don't talk to people about your problems, they will not know about it, and if they don't know about it, they cannot help. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, don't just assume people know you need help and then go ahead to demonize them when you've not even opened up to them. I've seen this play out a lot of times when somebody is going through stuff and they just keep it to themselves, and after a while they come to say things like, I was going through this and nobody came to my aid, I was almost dying, nobody came to save me. But who did you tell? Who did you tell? Nobody is going to come and force it out of your mouth. Do you understand? In this dispensation, everybody's trying to mind their business. Nobody wants to put pressure on another person. Everyone is like, if you don't tell me your matter, I don't come asking for it. People don't want to appear intrusive. So if you don't tell anyone about your problems, nobody will know. And if they don't know, they will not help. To wrap up this video, all I'm trying to say is, no human being is built with a special sensor to detect thoughts and feelings, which makes communication our only lifeline for obtaining clarity. So let's use it and stop making assumptions based on people's actions. And that's it, guys, for this video. Thank you so much for watching and sticking with me up to this point. Like this video, share it so that more people can see it, and remember to subscribe. Join me on this channel and let's grow into a better version of ourselves, one video at a time. See you in my next video. Bye.